world title fight challenge on HBO in June at 122, a weight that he has really struggled with in years, including that night. So now Teon's moving up 8 pounds to 130 pounds. He's only lost 2 out of 21 fights. Why don't you say a few words about what you hope is your future?
Well, first I'd like to thank everybody for letting me on this card. I'm glad to be fighting in Philly again. I've been fighting about 2 or 3 years in Philly, so I'm happy to be on this card. And right in my background, I live right around the corner for real. But I mean, this fight, I have to win. I mean, I ain't winning like almost a year now. Last time I won a fight, so I'm trying to showcase my skills again. I mean, when I come in the fight, I will be trying to knock him out. Like, not on no crazy stuff, but I will be playing smart. But I'm trying to knock him out like at least the 6th or 7th round. He's a good fighter, but I know I'm better than him, and I will be coming to fight. Thank you.
The extra 8 pounds has made Teon more of a talker than he's ever been in the past.
I'll be weak trying to make the weight. I can't talk.
Okay, this character to my left, he promotes the shows as well as the promoters do, Bryant, Jennings. He also is from the neighborhood. In fact, there's probably a half a dozen fighters on the show that could walk to the McGonigal Hall that night. Bryant Jennings is a great success story. As I said earlier, he was just another 6-round prospect in January, and even though I'd like to take the credit, when Eddie Chambers pulled out of the fight with Sergey Liakovich and we were scrambling for someone to fight Liakovich, Fred Jenkins, his manager, called me on the phone and said, "What about Bryant?" I said, "Are you crazy?" He said, "No." He said, "We're available." So Bryant became available, and as soon as Bryant became available, Liakovich became unavailable. And Bryant wound up fighting another transplanted Philadelphian Maurice Byarm, and Bryant was the betting underdog going into that fight. I would say that the majority of boxing experts picked Byarm to win the fight. Bryant won it. It was one of the better heavyweight fights you're going to see. And then we had an offer to fight Liakovich 2 months later, and Bryant didn't want to fight him. Bryant was hesitant, let's put it this way. Liakovich was the former world champion from Russia, and Bryant, I think, wanted to enjoy the fruits of his victory a little bit longer, and we did some arm twisting, and I think Bryant told me that the motivating factor that changed his mind was when I told him, okay, if we decide to give the fight to Byarm and Byarm winds up winning the fight, you'll probably be kicking yourself in the backside for the next month or two. And between that and Fred coercing him, he took the fight, and it was a one-sided dismantling of a former world champion on neutral territory, after which Freddie Roach, who a lot of people think is one of the top trainers in the country, tabbed Bryant as the best American heavyweight prospect on the planet. From there, Bryant went on and won the USBA heavyweight title a couple months later, and then in September, he needed all of 35 seconds to knock out Chris Koval. He's now ranked number 5 in the world by the IBF, and this is his first fight back in Philly, in his neighborhood. And while it's always an advantage to fight at home, I remember the late Dan Duva saying years ago when Meldrick Taylor was defending against Glenwood Brown in his backyard here in Philly, he said there's a lot of pressure on you when you fight at home. People bugging you for tickets, people bugging you for autographs, people bugging you for this and that. Sometimes it's actually easier to fight on the road. Meldrick scraped by that night. He got knocked down twice, but still got up to win a 12-round decision. But hopefully Bryant won't have that same kind of problems. He is fighting Bowie Tupou from Tonga, who's only lost 2 out of 24 fights with 16 knockouts. So it's a big night for him too. Bryant Jennings.
All right. I won't stand because I figure I'm tall enough. So, but this is an opportunity that I've been kind of like waiting for. This is something, of course, every fight I dream of. And the outcome is to have a win. I don't care how it comes, knockout, unanimous decision, split decision. As long as I win, Everybody knows me for, my work ethic. If you're out there on the drive, which I seen this morning, shout out to Teon. They was out there on the drive, putting in that work, putting in the miles. It was a late day for me. I'm usually out there around 5 o'clock, but I'm out there. Heavyweight running 10 miles, 10 and a half miles in less than an hour and a half. My work ethic kind of like speaks for itself, so you can kind of tell that I want this. Anybody who actually knows me, who follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, you can just like relive my life through my tweets, through my posts, and you can kind of see like what type of guy I am. I'm quite sure, everybody's, wants me to win, wants me to continue on my journey to be the next, heavyweight champion of the world. I'm so happy to be fighting at McGonigal Hall. I actually graduated here. I'm not even sure if I graduated twice here. I may have graduated twice here, but this is my backyard. The track is right there behind. I done put endless miles on that track. I done scuffed up sneakers. I done did a million pull-ups and dips on them bars out there. So this is definitely my backyard. And I don't take my opponent very lightly. I take everybody seriously. So I'm quite sure that you guys know I'm going to go out and I'm going to fight my hardest. I'm going to do what I got to do. I ain't looking for no knockout. I'm just looking to win, make it look good, and I'm on to the next one, like Jay-Z said. You know what I'm saying? So, so we got a month left. 4 weeks exactly, and I'm ready right now. I'm always ready ahead of time. We don't do nothing but just walkthroughs, and every now and then my trainer tell me to sit down, take a rest, and go down to the pool, sit in the hot tub. Little before when I'm in the pool doing laps, I'm not supposed to just be resting. So I'm the kind of guy that can't stay still, can't sit still. My work ethic is crazy. My marketing skills is definitely decent. Shout out to Russell for recognizing that. And my elite class logo is an owl. As you can see, it's an owl right here. So the owl with the boxing glove, you might have to hold on to this. I might want to take that. That represents me. That represents elite class. That represents every individual that's a part of elite class. Shout out to Fred Jennings Jr. All is all. You know what type of fighter I am. You know what I come to do. You know my game. You know what I'm about. You know where I'm from. You know what I do. So shout out to everybody that's here, and I hope to see you guys on December 8th when I put that work in.
Okay, you can run the next press conference. A couple things. Teon said he hasn't won a fight in over a year. Technically, that's true. He did get hosed in Las Vegas earlier this year in a 10-round draw with Chris Martin. He won that fight easily. To Bryant's left is his manager, trainer, and a guy who actually fought for me, but that was about 150 pounds ago. Fred Jenkins. I've known him forever. And this is a very close-knit, tight team from the Athletic Rec Center at 25th or 26th and Master, 26th and Master. You have anything to say, Fred?
Sure. It's a pleasure being here. Like Russell said and Brian said, we basically in our backyard. We actually in North Philly, where I was born and raised at. But he mentioned many titles when he mentioned who I was. In order to make it in the Philadelphia boxing game, you have to put on a lot of coach. So, I learned to be a cut man, learned to be a trainer, learned to be a manager, and I also did a couple of promotions. And the promotions, I really got in trouble because I did 22 fights on 2 shows. And Russell was hollering at me, telling me, "Wait, you crazy or something? 22 fights?" We did it at the Blue Horizon. We started at 7, we left at 3 in the morning. So it was a great opportunity to experience promotion and everything, where it gave me the opportunity to make moves in different approaches with Brian Jennings, to move him in position as number 5th heavyweight in the world. Because when you're making a decision for a fight, you got to think down the road. And right now, y'all got to remember, y'all sitting here with a guy that everything he did was a challenge. he out-challenged most of the fighters that I ever trained, and he out-challenged most of the heavyweights that I ever seen in my history of boxing. So right now, you're getting the first glimpse as your next heavyweight champ. You're getting an early glimpse. This kid here is going to really be a champ because you've never seen his work ethics. He fights, he moves like a lightweight, he runs like a lightweight. And not only that, he lives the fighter's life. You know, the fighter's life is a hard road. You know, when you actually go to work, go home, come to the gym, get your rest, and stay out of trouble. This kid here, he followed that path with all his energy. And I have to keep him busy because if you slow up, I have a problem. Because this guy, he's like a ever-ready battery. So I got to keep him busy and busy. And he usually like to fight twice a month. This is what we always trying to get because this kid is always in the gym. And I do believe he'll be a heavyweight champion of the world sooner than some of us think. So it's a great pleasure for us fighting the guy in the hall.